Hello, let's talk about graphics. You will be writing several documents that require graphics. The proposal will require graphics, the formal report, and the slide presentation. While you are doing research, you should always look for graphics that might be used in your document, or you might think about what you might create for your document. Graphics should enhance and support the text. Slide design, when you do the slides, should be appropriate for the subject matter. You wouldn't want something really happy if your topic is really sad. This vegetable slide design has little relevance to what we're talking about, visual elements, other than it is a nice visual display of color. Notice the clarity. That's important in slides. This is the intro slide on graphics. Sometimes I use the term visual elements and sometimes graphics or illustrations. Note that those are really the same thing. Layout and formatting. You'll hear me use those two terms also, and you need to know what I mean by them. Layout means placement and arrangement of elements on the page, where you put things. You can see on this slide that I have put layout and formatting a little more to the left than I did the explanation. That helps set them off. And you can see also that the title is in all caps. That helps. That's formatting. Creating an effect through choice of font style and size, emphasis, and color. Now there is some confusion with the term format. For example, you might ask what format do you want, meaning what type of document do you want? Do you want a memo? Do you want letter? What format do you want? But when we're talking about formatting, we're talking about manipulating the font style and size and the emphasis with bolding or color. Okay, formatting is when you try to create an effect using any of the various formatting options. Font style, size, bolding, italics, color. I've already said that. Both layout and formatting are important for the document designer. Even in using this slide, I changed things to make the slides more effective. Okay, for instance, I changed the font on all slides to Calibri. It was in Constantia, a serif font. Anytime something will be read on a computer or from far away, you don't want a serif font. Use a non-serif font. So I don't know why the slide design would have a serif font. Personally, I prefer Calibri on all the documents. It seems to work best for me on the computer screen. Document design elements. Have you ever received a wedding invitation? The paper was probably not letter size and it was probably a heavier weight. It probably had embossing or text that you could physically feel the text. Or the text was in special fonts and had special effects added to it like gold ink. It was special in every sense. All these things convey something to the reader about the topic and the message and about the writer. The presentation of the document, the appearance of the document, mean as much as the content. What if the wedding invitation was written on a piece of notebook paper? What would be your impression? What would it say about the message and the writer? Again, the appearance of the document is just as important as the content. You may have written a delicious steak and content, but if you serve it on a dirty, unattractive plate, would you want to eat it or read it? These are some of the elements that you can change to make your document appear the way you want it. The appearance of the text, the headings, titles, graphics, the use of white space, headers and footers, bindings, paper size and weight, paragraph length, paragraph size and length of the document, anything that affects the appearance of the document. You need to pay attention to that. Always note how I'm using a white space, how I'm using formatting, as in font and style and bolding. Pay attention to these things as we go through the course. You need to memorize these document design elements. It's difficult to give you everything you need to know all at once, but do memorize these. These are the essentials, the guiding principles of document design. Contrast, excuse me, alignment, proximity, repetition, balance, and size. So you can see at the bottom here, let me see if I can change this a little bit. No. You can see this business card, and you'll see that the company name is bolded and it's larger. That makes it stand out. And the placement, the layout, is in the middle, so it's kind of the first thing you see. Then over here, your name is also in bold, and then the title that you might have would be in italics, and then the phone and fax numbers. And up in the right corner, you have address, email, etc., and website. Notice the use of the white space. You've got this line that comes across here. Now this part is kind of ineffective, where this URL kind of bleeds into this blue part. That doesn't really work as well as it could. So you might try compressing or reducing the size of those things right there. You might also try putting the phone numbers over here. Anything to make it look balanced. Since you don't have anything here, I guess that's why they chose not to put anything here. But maybe a photo or something like that right there. Don't use a template. I know if you want to create business cards or any kind of business document, there are templates available, but they do not use the best principles of design. And if this was created from a template, you can see that it's got some problems. It's not bad, but it does have some problems. The types of graphics and illustrations that you might want to use in your documents. Tables where you have columns and rows, and you can create these in Word, or if you know other programs, you can do that, like Excel. Figures like bars, color, pies, photos, drawings, and pie charts. Word does allow you to use to create these very easily. You just go to the Insert tab, click on Charts, and it's fairly self-explanatory, but you can always click F1 for help. Font has personality, and you may have seen this from me before, but what gender would you assign to these three paragraphs? They all say the same thing. Which one is female? Which one is male? The first one is Comic Sans. It's a non-serif font. That means the letters do not have the extenders at the tops and bottoms of the letters. This font was very popular for a while, but now people make fun of you if you use it. It's a very informal font, so kind of stay away from Comic Sans. The example in the middle is Times New Roman. It's the most commonly found in printed documents. It has the extenders at the tops and bottoms of the letters. You can see, where's my cursor? There it is. See the little extenders? Those help guide your eyes across the line for faster reading. You don't want to use those on slides or anything that will be read on the computer. The bottom one is Arial. Arial is a fat font. It takes up a lot of the line space, and this one is Arial Black, which takes up even more. And because it is Arial Black, it's very tiring on one's eyes. It would be best used for some kind of heading or title, something that is short and you just want it noticed. Calibri is the font I prefer for all screen documents. It feels the best on my eyes. So which font are you going to use? Captioning graphics. Whenever you insert a graphic into a document, you must use the automatic captioning command. You cannot label graphics yourself. You must use the command that's available in Word. It allows you, once you use that caption command, it allows you to create or automatically create a list of illustrations. Otherwise, the list of illustrations has to be hand or manually created, and that is not pretty. So use the caption command. On a PC, you go to the References tab, then go to Insert Caption. You'll see that Figure 1 will be in the first box, and you can choose Figure or Table. Figure 1, and you would add a colon, and then you would put the title of your illustration, and you would in parentheses put whatever documentation is needed. And you would need documentation unless you created that graphic yourself. Also, you must always discuss and reference a graphic in your text. You can't just add graphics without them helping you explain something. So you have to mention it in the text, and that's called textual integration. Documenting graphics, unless it's original, you made it, placed after the figure number and title, put the entire documentation, include permission if it was needed. Now, as long as for educational purposes, you can use anything as long as you document it. But some places will require you to get permission. Or if you're no longer in school, you will probably need to get permission to use someone else's material. You cannot use it in anybody's material in your business documents without getting permission. Mention it in the text, and then you put after it see Figure 1 after you've mentioned it in the text. Ethics and graphics. Having unequally sized pictograms, pictures in this pictogram misleads the reader. The one on the right is better but not absolutely accurate. I highly recommend that you go to this website to see other examples of misleading graphics. Alright, so ethics and graphics. If you have a horse, it's 50 people. Okay? And if you have a cat, it's 50 people. All of these are 50 people. But if the horse is bigger than the cat, here you have 150 people, and here you have 350 people. But it looks like you have more people here than here. So if they're basically the same size, this shows more people than it does horses. Same thing with the dogs and others. Graphics are required for your formal report because you need to demonstrate the ability to find them, document them, caption them, integrate them into your text, and also format them. Acquire graphics during research or create them yourself. Use the right type of graphic. Don't use blurry ones. Sometimes when you take it from a source, it's blurry. If it is, don't use it. And don't use clip art. To insert graphics into your text, and this is not done until after you have completely written and revised your document, you would go to the Insert tab, click on Picture, and find the graphic that you want. Any picture that or photo that you want to put into your document should be cropped if it's necessary to improve the visuals. Sometimes a photo will have a lot of extraneous background stuff that you don't need around the photo. You also want to compress. Now, cropping and compressing are not the same thing. Once you put the photo into your document, you can click on it and little circles should appear around the photo. The Format tab should open. On the left of the toolbar, click on Compress Pictures. Choose Web or Email Resolution because I will be reading your documents online. Wrap the text square or top and bottom for large graphics. Add the caption. Now, we will look at this more later. So I know this may be a little bit confusing right now, but we will go back into this later. A separate demonstration of inserting and captioning. That's what I just told you. Graphics are in addition to the text. They are not to stand alone. They must be integrated into the text. Place them as near as possible to where you discuss them. But if you can't put them on the same page as where they are discussed, then take them to the next page. People are accustomed to looking to the next page or the next. If you tell them they need to see Figure 2, they'll look for Figure 2. And the rule is don't use templates. Don't use templates for any document. The only time you can use a template in this course is when we do the slide presentation, and that is just to get the slide design. The KISS rule is keep it simple, stupid. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend anyone, but that on graphics, keep the graphics as simple as possible. A complex graphic is distracting and people don't know what to look at. So crop your graphics, recreate your graphic if it's too detailed. Sometimes the graphics you put in your report will not work on a slide. So you have to recreate or focus in on the information you want. Okay, that's it on graphics for now.